On a Tuesday morning, hope you had a good holiday weekend. Good morning to you, sir. They're live in Austin. A lot of news in Texas, actually. We're going to get to that with the Lieutenant Governor coming up in 30 minutes. Race is a big part of his agenda. A lot of money being suggested that should be spent in different parts of America. How involved should the federal government be at picking winners and losers, Carl?
Well, this gets to the heart of the matter because we have sought as a country for decades equality. That is to say, the opportunity for every person, regardless of their race, their background, their creed, their place of birth, to have an equal shot at the American dream. Now we're talking about equity, which means we're going to give money to people and we're going to go preference to people based simply on the color of their skin. We've seen this, for example, in the COVID relief bill, where there's a measure that says if you are a farmer who is black, brown, or Asian American, and you have a federal loan, an ag department loan, you can get 120% forgiveness of that loan, regardless of your income, regardless of your wealth, just simply because of the color of your skin or your national origin. And there's a lawsuit being filed on that, as there are, I suspect, every time one of these things happens for a while, we're going to see similar lawsuits being filed, because in essence it's saying you have a privileged position because of the color of your skin. Not because you're in need, not because you're poor, not because you're struggling. I mean, there's explicitly no income test and no wealth test in this government in the forgiveness of these ag department loans.
So, Carl, you know, obviously Joe Biden, the president, speaks a lot about decency. It's a word that he hits over and over and over again. And I think a lot of people have different definitions of what that means and what exactly he's calling out there. He said, you know, we need more decency at home, more abroad. You know, it sort of pricks up my ears and makes me wonder what it is that he is searching for in that. The other thing I want to ask you about quickly is, you know, I think about Tim Scott, Senator Tim Scott, and the opportunity zones that were founded under President Trump, and I wonder what happened to those. They were designed to stimulate the economy in urban areas and help people of minority backgrounds.
Well, they were designed to help people in poor areas. These are in essence, if you will, race blind. I mean, these depressed areas are in, many of them are in urban cities, but many of them are in rural depressed areas. The object here, and this is something that Americans have become accustomed to, is to help people who are struggling financially, help the poor. That's why we give, extra aid, for example, to certain kinds of schools that are serving poor areas. It's why we have scholarships and scholastic aid that's based upon need. And that's worthy, and we've come as a country to accept that. We want every American to have the opportunity to rise, and if there's a need to help, give special help to those who come from poor circumstances, we're willing to do that as a country. It's a very different question to say, we don't care where you are financially, but if you are black or brown or Asian American, you know what? You get special privileges that other people don't get, and that's going to be a very difficult and, I think, troublesome debate for the country to have. We hide behind the word equity, and that's a nice equitable treatment. But we had an agreement that we wanted equality of opportunity. Equity implies an equality of outcome, and we're going to now, therefore, give aid to people based on the circumstances of their skin color, not simply the circumstances of their financial background or the fact that they live in a poor area and are poor themselves.
Carl, quickly here, if you missed it over the weekend, a lot of people out and about, doing normal things yet again. As Martha mentioned, I mean, she was up, no masks at her favorite joint. Right there up in Massachusetts.
I think it was you who had no mask at your favorite joint. She went to a movie, and I want to know what she saw.
I did both, actually. I saw Dream Horse, which was Damian Lewis and Toni Collette. It's, great feel-good horse movie. But I did also go to the local watering hole where people were body to body and maskless. And, like someone said to me, it's like 1987 in here. It was a good time.
Well, we had the final day. We had the final day of the legislature. So in Austin, that means every watering hole and every restaurant is filled with people celebrating that after 140 days, our legislators have been sent home, ostensibly not to appear again for another year and a half. But we'll be back for a couple of special sessions.
Yes, you shall. Quickly, the reason I bring that up is because a lot of people are out and about. Kamala Harris was at the Naval Academy, and she had what some consider to be a bit of a bomb. Here was the attempt at a joke or something like that. This is what she said.
Just ask any Marine today Would she rather carry 20 pounds of batteries or a rolled up solar panel? And I am positive she will tell you a solar panel, and so would he.
Nothing says Semper Fi like that, Carl.
Let's let that one pass. I mean, that's a bad, fire that speechwriter, or at least have them go back to humor class 101.
Thank you, Carl. Nice to see you in Austin. We'll talk later in the week. Thank you for that.